What's up, man? We're about to jump into this Coming Home album review, but if you stick around to the end, I will give you my list, at least my list of Usher's top albums thus far. That's his studio albums, not the compilation, not the whatever that was from Atlanta thing, but his studio albums. Coming Home by Usher was overall a pretty decent effort from the so-called king of R&B. At least that's what he was alluding to himself on the Club Shay Shay interview. While I liked the album for the most part, I did find myself questioning a few choices and what the overall direction was. When I think of a good album, I think of an album as a whole if it had direction and a common theme. Now, I know that we live in a world of ADHD and many won't even listen to this album in completion. I still believe that it is important for an album to paint a picture of the mind and have an end goal. With 3 full listens, I'm not seeing the overall theme here. The title track, Coming Home, featuring Burna Boy, puts us in a sense of a man coming home to share his bed with the greatest love of his life. And later on, we find ourselves talking about large manhoods and biggie-sized fries from McDonald's. Speaking of, now would be a great time to give you my bottom 3 tracks. And obviously, that will be including Big. It's sad too because the track's instrumental showed extreme promise, but the correlating lyrics did not. A-Town Girl featuring Lotto, who tries her best to give this some life, but obviously she falls flat. Coincidentally, I can see this being a skating ring song that gets a lot of play, even though it's not really that good. My next song isn't necessarily bad bop, but I mean, it isn't good either. It lacks identity and is pretty much telling of the album in whole. While it may contain moments of goodness, it kind of really lacks a soul. Now I'm going to give you my top 3, and I'm not going to include 2 songs, and those songs are Standing Next to You, which is a John Cook track that features Usher. It's like an Usher remix. It's like the last track on this album. While I think that this is an awesome track, and when I say awesome, I mean I see myself dancing with trolls when I listen to this track. This track is awesome, but it doesn't fit the soul of this album, and I really have no idea why it was picked to go on this album. I just feel like it should have been on the John Cook album and should have just stayed there, you know? And my next track that I'm not going to include in my top 3 is Risk It All featuring Her. This is another great song. It is a duet, and I have to say, I really enjoy it. I sing it often. It's a beautiful song, but again, it doesn't really fit this album. It doesn't seem like it should have been here. It should have stayed on the soundtrack, and that should have been it. I will say this concerning Her's acting ability. And that sounds crazy. Her acting ability. Actually, not as bad as I thought it was going to be. And I don't want to get into a full review of The Color Purple because I've already tackled that, and you guys should hit my review, and you should definitely check out our discussions because it is really good. But her acting ability kind of mirrors her singing, which to me is not bad, but isn't great. Anyway, we're going to jump into my top 3. Please You is definitely a Prince-inspired-esque 90-ish infused song, but I think that it is a good ride nonetheless. Room in a Room finally combines solid track production with great vocals and awesome penmanship. It actually gives you a theme that is relatable, something that really goes throughout the entire song. I actually enjoy Room in a Room a lot. Now, this next track must have been written for Sam Smith and turned down, but it's okay because it turned out beautifully anyway. And that is Kissing Strangers. It definitely sounds like something Sam Smith would cover or Justin Bieber, but hey, Usher did. In conclusion, Coming Home obviously means on the way and not have made it, because if 8701 in Confessions is Usher's home, then he is still far, far away.
Somebody wasn't hearing.
Thank you for checking out my album review. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, man, and follow us for more. We cover music, TV, books, anything entertainment, we're on it. I'm not going to be long with this list, man. I just want you guys to hear what I have thought of over the years of being an Usher fan and listening to Usher. and how I rank his albums. While I think all of them have moments where they are good, of course, as Usher, I don't think he's ever placed an effort out there that wasn't necessarily totally bad. It always contains good, but there are some that are better than others, obviously. So coming in at number 9 is Raymond versus Raymond, or Raymond v. Raymond, whatever that was. That comes in at number 9. Number 8 is going to be his self-titled album, Usher. Number 7 is going to be Looking for Myself. Now, I have to say something about Looking for Myself. It seems like Usher is pretty much been telling us how lost he's been, because he's been everywhere. And especially after y'all just heard my album review, Usher he's in search of something, and he has yet to find it. Woo! Number 6 is Here I Stand. I think it has something to do with a proposal or a wedding or something. I just can't remember at the moment. I think Usher was trying to get married. Maybe not, I don't know. But number 6 is Here I Stand. Number 5 is Hard to Love. Now, this is one of those albums that was like really like, he was trying to be real clubbish then. He was just coming in with it. He was coming in with them boom, boom, you know, whatever you call that kind of R&B or kind of music or whatever. That's what Usher was coming with. Number 4 is going to be Coming Home. I really don't have much to say about this one, but it was a decent album. Number 3, and I think y'all see where I'm going with this because you haven't heard the ones you thought I would say already. Number 3 is obviously My Way. Now, in a lot of ways, My Way could probably be said to be one of his best albums, and I guess at number 3 it is one of his best albums, but it definitely could not take over the number 2 spot, which is Confessions. Number 2, I am dropping Confessions down, and at this time y'all already know what number 1 is. There isn't much that needs to be said about Confessions at this point. It is a household album. I think it crosses genres. Confessions is probably going to be one of his most recognized bodies of work. But 8701 is definitely my favorite Usher album. It is the most complete. It is the album that not only shared a theme without sharing a theme, an obvious theme, it transcended, how do I want to say this? Let's scratch that. I can't even figure out what I'm trying to say. Anyway, 8701 is my number 1 Usher album. What is yours? Let me know. Hit those comments below. Thank you for making it this far. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please do so.